Lucy stepped out of the black car with Brutus, her dark bulldog, clinging close to her legs. His eyes scanned the hotel entrance like a soldier on guard. Tomorrow was her wedding day, and her heart was full of excitement. Alex, her soon-to-be husband, rushed from the lobby when he saw her. "Lucy," he called, smiling wide. He wrapped her in a hug and kissed her cheek. But before they could share the moment, Brutus lunged forward. Woof! Woof! His teeth caught Alex's trouser leg, tugging fiercely. "Brutus, stop it!" Lucy cried, yanking his leash. Alex stumbled back, his face pale. "Why do you always bring this dog with you?" he snapped, brushing off his pants. "He nearly bit me again." Lucy sighed. "I'm sorry, baby. He just gets protective. Don't take it so seriously." Alex's jaw tightened. "Protective? Lucy, he's only like this with me. With everyone else, he's calm. Don't you see it? He hates me." Lucy touched his arm gently. "No, he doesn't hate you. He'll learn to love you with time. Please, let's not argue tonight. Tomorrow is our big day." She smiled sweetly, but Alex kept his eyes on Brutus, who was now staring at him in silence, chest rising and falling like a warning drumbeat. Inside the hotel lobby, Lucy chatted happily about flower arrangements and guests, but Alex barely listened. His eyes kept flicking to Brutus, following close behind with one of the hotel staff. In the elevator, Alex whispered, "We can't live with that dog after we're married. He makes me nervous." Lucy blinked in surprise. "Alex, please, don't say that. Brutus has been with me for years. He's family." "Family," Alex muttered, his voice sharp. "And what am I? A stranger in his way?" Lucy frowned. "Don't do this. He'll get used to you. You'll see." She reached for his hand, but Alex hesitated before letting her hold it. The elevator chimed, doors opening to their suite. Lucy gasped as soon as she stepped in. "Oh my gosh, Alex. Look at this." The suite was glowing with roses, balloons drifting near the ceiling, and a golden sign on the wall that read, "Last night before I do." Gifts and bottles of wine lined the table. "This is amazing," she whispered, hugging him tight. Alex smiled faintly, but his eyes darted to the corner. Brutus sat there quietly, ears perked, eyes locked on him like a shadow that would never leave. Lucy didn't notice. She was lost in the magic of the room. "I love you, babe," she whispered. Alex stroked her hair gently. "I love you too," he said, though his voice trembled with something unsaid. A sudden ring broke the moment. Alex glanced at his phone and sighed. "It's Jack. He just arrived with the guys." Lucy smiled. "Go meet them. Tell them I said hi." Alex kissed her once more before leaving. Brutus shifted slightly as the door closed, his gaze following Alex until he was gone. Downstairs, Jack and the groomsmen stood ready with gifts, balloons, even a trumpet player. Alex grinned, holding a bouquet of red roses. "She's going to love this," he said. The men laughed, lining up behind him. "When I knock, I'll hand her the flowers. The music starts, then you all come in." "Easy." Jack nodded. "She'll never forget it." They walked down the hallway, but before Alex could knock, he froze. From inside the room came Lucy's laughter. Her voice was clear, playful, sharp. "Can you believe Alex said he doesn't want Brutus around after the wedding?" She laughed. "He thinks Brutus is too aggressive." Alex's hand, still holding the bouquet, hovered mid-air. His chest tightened. Something about her tone made the air feel suddenly heavier. Alex lowered his hand slowly, pressing his ear closer to the door. Lucy's voice floated out, clear and careless. "He doesn't even realize Brutus is just jealous. That dog thinks I'm his baby. He doesn't want to share me with anyone." She laughed again, the sound playful and cruel at the same time. Alex's grip on the roses tightened until the stems bent. Then came the words that ripped his heart apart. "Alex is always busy with work, and he can't even satisfy me like Brutus does." For a moment, Alex thought his ears were lying. His mouth dropped open, his chest frozen. Jack, standing a few feet behind, frowned. "What's wrong?" he whispered, but Alex didn't answer. His world had already started breaking. Inside, Lucy kept talking, her voice sharper now. "He's weak. If it wasn't for his money, I would have never stayed this long." Alex staggered back a step, the bouquet trembling in his hands. His throat felt like sand. He wanted to shout, but no words came. Jack's eyes widened. "Alex, are you okay?" Then Lucy's tone grew colder, cutting like glass. "I'll marry him, then divorce him, and take half of everything he owns. That's the plan." Alex felt the blood drain from his face. His knees almost buckled. He heard her sigh dreamily. "And once that's done, I'll go straight to Michael. He's the only man I've ever loved." The bouquet slipped from Alex's hand, crashing onto the hallway floor. Jack and the trumpet player both looked startled. "Alex," Jack called, stepping closer. Alex didn't answer. His eyes were glassy, his heart pounding so loudly he could barely hear. Lucy's laughter rang out again, careless and cruel. Tears filled Alex's eyes. He stood frozen, staring at the hotel door as though it had turned into a wall of fire. Behind it, his dreams were burning. Jack reached for him. "What happened? Tell me." But Alex only shook his head, his lips trembling. Then, without a word, he turned and walked away. "Alex!" Jack shouted, running after him. The groomsmen stood frozen, still holding their gifts. The trumpet player lowered his instrument. The hallway was silent except for Alex's footsteps and the broken sound of his breathing. Jack caught up, grabbing his arm. "Bro, please talk to me. What's going on?" But Alex didn't speak. He pulled his arm free and kept walking, his head low. Tears streamed down his face, soaking into his suit collar. Jack watched helplessly. "This doesn't make sense," he muttered. He turned to the others. "Go back. I'll handle him." The men nodded slowly, their excitement dead and heavy now. Back in his room, Alex collapsed on the bed. He buried his face in his hands, his body shaking. Her voice replayed in his head like a cruel recording. "I'll marry him, then divorce him. Alex can't satisfy me. Michael is the one I love." He groaned, fists pressing into his temples. "Why? Why me?" All night, he sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor. Jack knocked on the door over and over. "Alex, open up. Please talk to me." But Alex didn't move. His eyes were swollen, his chest heavy. Morning light broke through the curtains, but inside him, it was still night. He had no idea how he would face the wedding day. Morning came, bright and beautiful. Birds chirped, the sun sparkled, but Alex felt like he was walking into a grave. He dressed quietly, tying his tie with hands that trembled. In the mirror, his face looked pale, eyes empty. Jack entered carefully. "Bro, are you sure you want to go through with this?" Alex forced a small smile. "I'm fine," he lied. The wedding hall glittered like a palace. Chandeliers glowed, flowers filled the air with sweet fragrance, and rows of guests whispered in excitement. Alex walked in, his suit sharp, but his face cold and unreadable. People waved at him, but he didn't wave back. Whispers began to rise. "Why does he look so stiff?" Moments later, Lucy arrived. She looked radiant in her gown, sparkling like a queen. The crowd gasped in admiration. "She's stunning," someone whispered. Lucy smiled proudly, clutching her bouquet as she walked down the aisle. Her eyes searched for Alex. He sat still at the altar, his face blank. When she leaned in to whisper, "You look handsome," he didn't respond. The officiator cleared his throat. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered," but Alex raised his hand. "Wait." The hall fell silent. He reached for the microphone. Lucy blinked in surprise, then smiled wide, assuming it was another sweet surprise. "I have something special for my bride," Alex said clearly. The crowd clapped and cheered. Lucy glowed with excitement, her cheeks flushed. She thought maybe he had arranged a song, or a slideshow, or even fireworks. She adored public gestures. She leaned closer, waiting. Jack, sitting in the front row, shifted uneasily. Something in Alex's tone didn't sound right. Alex turned slowly to the media crew. He gave them a small, deliberate nod. They hesitated, then pressed play. The hall went completely silent. For a moment, there was only the soft hum of the speakers. Then Lucy's voice filled the room. "Alex is always busy with work. He can't satisfy me like Brutus does." Gasps echoed across the hall. A woman covered her mouth, her eyes wide. Men shook their heads in disbelief. Phones flew up, recording instantly. Lucy's face turned pale. What is this?" she stammered. But the audio kept playing. He's weak. If it wasn't for his money, I'd never stay. I'll marry him, divorce him, and take half. Then I'll be with Michael, the only man I truly love. Chaos broke out. Oh my God, someone shouted. Guests muttered loudly. Did she really say that? Is that her voice? Shame. The whispers turned into waves. Cameras flashed as the crowd buzzed with shock. Lucy's legs wobbled. She clutched her bouquet tighter, but her fingers shook violently. Lucy collapsed to her knees. Alex, please, she whispered, her voice breaking. It's not what it sounds like. But no one believed her. Every eye in the room was on her, some filled with pity, most with disgust. Alex stood tall, face unreadable. Behind his dark sunglasses, tears pressed, but he wouldn't let them fall. Without another word, Alex handed the microphone back, straightened his jacket, and walked down the aisle. The hall erupted. Some people shouted his name. Others rushed to help Lucy, who had fainted on the floor. Chairs toppled, flowers scattered, but Alex didn't look back. He walked out of the hall with his head high, leaving behind the ruins of a wedding that would never happen. When Alex reached home that evening, the silence felt heavier than the chaos he had just left behind. He closed the door softly, walked to his bed, and collapsed face down in his suit. For the first time all day, he let his tears fall freely. They soaked into the pillow as sobs racked his chest. Friends and family knocked on his door. Alex, open up. Please talk to us, they begged. But he didn't answer. Jack called again and again, his voice desperate. Bro, don't do this alone. We're here. Still, Alex remained silent, drowning in his pain. Days passed in slow, torturous hours. He barely ate. He ignored calls, messages, and knocks on the door. His phone buzzed nonstop, but he never touched it. He sat on the couch, staring at the wall, replaying Lucy's laughter and cruel words in his head. I'll marry him, then divorce him. His family tried to intervene. Jack even brought a counselor to his house. Alex, please, talk to someone. Don't shut down like this, Jack pleaded. But Alex shook his head. I can't. Not yet. His voice was hoarse, broken. His body was weak, but his mind kept running in circles of betrayal. Weeks turned into a blur. Outside, life went on. Inside, Alex lived in shadows. Shame burned him more than heartbreak. People whispered, that's the groom who was betrayed at the altar. He had become a headline, a living joke. Wherever he went, he felt eyes on him. One night, staring at the ceiling, Alex whispered to himself, I can't stay like this. I need to disappear. His chest ached, but a small spark of determination flickered. He couldn't erase the past, but he could choose where to build his future. He packed a small bag. No designer suits, no gold watch, no luxury shoes. Just plain clothes. He left behind his old life, without telling anyone, not even Jack. In the early morning, he boarded a bus to a small, developing city far from the spotlight. The new city was simple. Dusty roads, small markets, friendly people who didn't know his name. He rented a one-bedroom house with peeling paint and squeaky doors. It wasn't much, but it gave him peace. For the first time in months, he breathed without feeling stares. He blended in quickly. No one cared about his past or his money. He walked to the roadside stores, bought food from the market, sat quietly at small cafes. It was a humble life, but it felt real. At least here, he told himself, I could be just Alex, not the broken groom. Still, loneliness clung to him. At night, he lay awake, hearing Lucy's voice in his mind. Michael is the only man I love. He clenched his fists. Never again, he whispered. Never again will I let someone use me like that. What he didn't know was that fate was already preparing a new chapter. One cloudy afternoon, Alex walked down the street carrying a small bag of groceries. The sky rumbled softly, and the road ahead was muddy from an earlier rain. Just as he stepped across, a car sped by and splashed muddy water all over him. He froze, dripping, embarrassed, his clothes ruined. The car screeched to a stop. A young woman jumped out quickly. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, she cried, rushing toward him. She had gentle eyes and a worried face. I didn't see the puddle. Please forgive me. Alex shook his head slowly. It's fine, he said, wiping mud from his arm. But the woman didn't leave it at that. She hurried to her car, grabbed a clean towel, and ran back. Please, let me help. She began wiping his shirt carefully. Alex raised his hand. Really, it's okay. You don't need to. She looked up at him with guilt. At least take the towel. Alex stood there, stunned by her kindness. He took the towel and gave a small nod. Thank you. She smiled softly. I'm sorry again. I was rushing. Please take care. Then she hopped back in her car and drove off, leaving Alex standing there, dripping but strangely touched. That night, he replayed the scene in his head. Her gentle voice, her worried eyes. She was kind, he whispered to himself. It had been so long since someone treated him with simple care. He regretted not asking her name, but it was too late. She was gone. Weeks passed, and Alex returned to his quiet routine. But fate had other plans. One Saturday afternoon, walking out of a small mall, he stopped suddenly. There she was, the same girl, laughing with a friend at the entrance. Alex's heart raced. He stepped closer cautiously. She noticed him and smiled. Oh, it's you, she said warmly. Alex returned the smile. I didn't think I'd see you again. She laughed. Neither did I. This is my best friend, Emma. And I'm Caroline. Alex introduced himself properly this time. I'm Alex. Caroline nodded. Nice to finally meet you, Alex. They chatted lightly about the mall, the city, even the weather. Emma watched them closely, her eyes sharp, but Caroline seemed relaxed and cheerful. Before they parted, Alex gathered courage. Can I have your number? Maybe we can talk sometime. Caroline smiled and handed him her phone. He typed in his number and saved hers. There, she said. Now you can't lose me again. From that day forward, they talked often. Morning texts, evening calls, little jokes that made Alex laugh again. For the first time since the wedding disaster, warmth returned to his chest. Caroline was kind, gentle, and honest. She asked about his life, but never about his past. And Alex felt a spark of hope he thought was gone forever. As days passed, Alex found himself smiling more. Caroline had a way of making him forget his pain. She laughed at his jokes, even the bad ones, and always asked how his day went. But Emma, her best friend, seemed different. Each time Alex visited, Emma's eyes followed him, sharp and watchful. One evening, after Alex dropped Caroline home, Emma lingered at the gate. Alex, she said quietly, be careful. He frowned. What do you mean? Emma hesitated. Caroline is my friend, but sometimes she doesn't always mean what she says. Alex tilted his head. Are you warning me? Emma only sighed. Just don't give her your whole heart too quickly. Alex drove home unsettled. He trusted Caroline, but Emma's words gnawed at him. That night, when Caroline called, her voice was cheerful. Guess what? I told Emma you might take us both out this weekend. Isn't that fun? Alex chuckled nervously. Both of you? Caroline laughed. Yes. You don't mind, do you? Saturday arrived. Alex cleaned his old car and wore his neatest shirt. He pulled up outside Caroline's house, honking gently. Through the window, he saw her frown. Is this the car? She muttered to Emma. I can't ride in this thing. It's embarrassing. Emma frowned back. Caroline, stop. Don't be shallow. Caroline rolled her eyes, but eventually followed Emma outside. Alex smiled, eager. Good afternoon. Caroline forced a small smile, sliding into the back seat without a word. Emma, however, sat beside Alex. Thanks for picking us up, she said warmly, trying to smooth the awkwardness. As they drove, Caroline stayed quiet, scrolling on her phone. Emma leaned closer, whispering, Don't mind her. She gets like this sometimes. Alex gave a stiff smile, but inside his chest tightened. The excitement he had felt earlier was already fading. At the restaurant, Caroline's mood improved. She laughed loudly, took selfies, and even ordered the most expensive dishes. Alex, you don't mind, right? You're a man. You can handle it, she teased. Alex forced a chuckle, but Emma's face hardened. She didn't like what she was seeing. When Caroline went to the restroom, Emma leaned forward. Alex, listen. Don't fall for her too deeply. She's not who you think. Alex's heart sank. Then why haven't you told her this? Emma sighed. Because she's my friend. But you don't deserve to be hurt again. Caroline returned, smiling as if nothing happened. She slipped her arm through Alex's. See? We're perfect together. But Alex's smile didn't reach his eyes. Emma's warning echoed in his head. For the first time, He noticed the cracks, the way Caroline looked at his wallet more than his heart. That night, as he dropped them home, Alex made a quiet decision. He had already been burned once, and he wouldn't let history repeat itself. Caroline might have been a spark, but Emma's honesty had opened his eyes. As he drove away, the city lights flashing past, he whispered, "This time, I'll choose wisely. This time, I'll protect my heart." And for the first time in a long while, Alex felt a strange thing: hope.